Alex Jones hates talking to actual experts. That's why most of the time he gets on his shows what I would call fake experts, who talk a big game, but when you really, really start to look into them, they don't have relevant degrees in whatever they're talking about, or really, they don't even have anywhere close to any real knowledge in what they're talking about. A good example is he's interviewing a guy about the HAARP system. Now, the interview goes okay, and then I thought, that's quite strange, an interview going okay. So I had a look into the expert who has written the book about it. He's never worked with the HAARP system. He's never set foot inside the facility to work with it. His degree, I think, was in something to do with computers. I think it was probably computer science. So how much of an expert must he be on the system, considering he's never used it, he's never actually set foot inside the building, and all he's done is basically talked about a load of theories, which, again, he has nothing to back it up with. If you want a really good example of why he really hates talking to experts and why he chooses people like that, you need to look no further than the Noam Chomsky interview. Because, to begin with, it's fine. Jones is going, yes, Mr. Chomsky, yes, Mr. Chomsky, I agree with you 100%, Mr. Chomsky. And then we get to the end of the interview, which is where it starts to fall apart. Jones immediately says, oh, the UK have always had guns. That's not entirely true. We've had very, very strict gun control, but we've never had, like, completely free guns like they have in America. Noam Chomsky disagrees with him and goes, no, I don't think that's entirely true. And then Jones spouts off a number, which he says claims to be true, which is false. And Chomsky rightly then goes, well, I don't think it's true, but I don't know the numbers to comment to say whether it's true or not. Which is what a true expert would do. They wouldn't comment on something unless they really knew the facts. So, I think the comment he made was on, I believe it was crime in the UK, which again is completely wrong on. Again, I can't remember the numbers, but it's pretty easy to, again, a simple Google search will look it up. In fact, actually, from what I remember, crime in the UK has been falling from about 1995, I believe it's by like 45%. And I think we got the gun ban, I believe, I can't remember now. But, anyway, back to the interview. And then he does something even more, which I think is completely dishonest of him. Was he ends the interview, Noam Chomsky even says goodbye. He then restarts the interview. He does again asking a question. He then says, oh, he hung up on me. Well, of course he's going to hang up on you if you've ended the interview. Jones then, for an hour, rants about how elitist Chomsky was, and about how he acted beforehand such a snob, how he hates elites, how he hates the fact that they're intelligent, so forth and so forth. But then, I found another interesting thing where a caller comes in. And then Jones starts going on the fact, oh, you weren't breastfed. And I'm sorry that your parents gave you formula. You know, I was breastfed until I was 8 months old. Henceforth, I have a bigger brain than you. Well, unfortunately, again, a simple Google search proves him wrong. There is very little evidence to support what he's saying about whether you were breastfed or not. It doesn't matter whether you're breastfed or not. I think the real killer to that question is that Isaac Newton's mother didn't breastfeed him. In fact, he was never breastfed. Well, not Isaac Newton. Albert Einstein's mother never breastfed him. So, does Jones think that he's an idiot? And again, listen to how smirmy he becomes. Again, how much he ranted against Chomsky for an hour about how he hated how the fact that, or bragged, but apparently Chomsky bragged, I don't think he would have, to be honest, given the man's credibility, would have bragged about the fact of how intelligent he was to Jones. I think that was something Chomsky would never ever do. But Jones claims he did. He then, on the air, starts going, oh, I'm smarter than you, I'm so smart, you know, because my mother breastfed me, I'm sorry you weren't breastfed. It's just like, what's that got to do with anything? And why are you being such a hypocrite on saying how much you hate, you know, people who brag about their intelligence, and then you have the gall to go on and say that you're smarter than the caller? But then again, that's the usual tactic that he uses. Again, Alex Jones reeks of hypocrisy. Absolutely. And it's astounding that his viewers don't call him on this. I'm absolutely flabbergasted when he does stuff like that. But again, this is what I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to show people that he's not what he says he is. He isn't this God proclaimer of truth. That he's, again, perverts the facts to suit his agenda. And that's, at the end of the day, his agenda is his agenda, and it's one to entirely boost his ego. So, again, I must stress this. I've had a conversation with a guy before who, again, I was literally, these are the facts. Are you not going to accept my facts that I'm showing you? And I gave him simple facts. These were, basically, you could Google these facts I was giving him. And you could pretty much, you know, that's how easy they were to prove. So, again, he just ignored the facts that I was giving him. So I can't believe people would just not even question Jones's, not even fact check him, or even question his motives. That's the real killer I find about his audience. So, whether or not I will reach people or not is a different question, but if I can, you know, at least convince one person that, you know, Jones isn't telling the truth 100% of the time, then I will consider it a victory in the end. But anyway, that's me signing off.